Welcome back to Surrey Build Weekly, episode 12. Today we're at a new project in Byfleet. We're very early stages. I'll talk a bit about this project. This is quite a unique loft. We've taken it on as a build only, so the client had already sought out an architect and got the design put into planning and approved. We are in the heart of Byfleet. We're on the corner of a very busy main road. But we've got really good access, which is slightly different to our other project in Guildford, which we've shown you lots about. This property was originally a bungalow. It's got a very large footprint, and it was previously converted with a very small and compact loft conversion, which is very old. You can see the space I'm standing in, which is the largest room of the conversion, is very, very small, probably not adequate as a bedroom. So let me show you the current loft space and what we are going to achieve once we finish. So I've got to manoeuvre around because you can see the space is very awkward. We've got sloped ceilings both sides. The doors have corners off. You've got a landing here. You've got wasted space to the side because obviously of the sloped roofs. A very narrow and a very steep staircase. Again, we've got the kind of hobbit door into a bathroom with sloped. We have got some full head height here, otherwise the bathroom wouldn't have been workable at all. But this small dormer looks onto another roof. So this property is very long and very wide, but it is divided by a valley in the middle. So we can't get to that space currently. So what the intention is, we're going to strip all of this out. We're going to strip all along this side of the loft. And then we're going to build a flat roof, strip that pitched roof so we can link the whole area. And then we start with just a huge open space. The intention, once we've got that space formed, is to have Velux windows all along this side, Velux windows all along the other side, and then on this flat roof section that we're going to build, we're going to have some flat roof fixed skylights. And then we will create an additional 3 double bedrooms, one with an ensuite and a shower room. So we're outside the property now. You can see that the guys have made a start getting the scaffolding up. Obviously that's how the guys are going to be accessing the loft for the vast majority of the construction. It's quite a big job because the footprint of the house is quite vast, although it's not high. But we will be putting a full tin hat over the scaffolding to provide maximum protection to the home. Obviously we live in the UK, so even when it's the summer, we still put tin hats on because, you know, you can never guarantee that there won't be any rain. To maximise the space in the loft, this wasted space has been designed to have a tiny little extension on the end of the house. The idea is that the ground floor section of the extension will be used for store, and then we can obviously increase the floor space up in the loft. Currently the guys have dug and poured the foundations. They've built up the DPC, which is a damp-proof course, to where it needs to be. We've had to disconnect the rainwater drain, which is fed into this pipe here in the ground. That's going to have to be shifted to the outside of this wall as the roof will be extended.
Thank you, Sarah, for your detailed plan. We're now at the Greenway Project and construction is in full swing. We've had a design walk around with the client and we've gone through all the electrical points, the bathroom sanitary ware, bed location, and we're now in a position to carry on with the insulation, given that now the structure is fully complete. I kind of think at this point we forget the plans a little bit and we can come up with a few options just to see what you guys are thinking. You've got a lot of scope on what you want to do up here. It depends on what you kind of want to gain from it. It is quite a vast space. So, I mean, as per the design, you had basically a wall through here, didn't you, with the bathroom over here, and then this is the bedroom.
Yeah. So there'll be a landing up to...
I mean, the landing only has to be 400 deep, so we don't actually need a proper square landing if you don't want one. Yeah. So we, under building regs, we need 450 from this point to the wall. So, you know, the door could go as close as there as possible. Yeah. It can be as tight as that. So if we want to keep that tight first, and then we can kind of plan from that. Yeah. I mean, obviously, having a long, thin bathroom works, but it's a lot of unusable space. I think the bed, if this was me, I would put the bed on that wall. I would square that section off and have a hatch for storage, and then I'd have the bed coming off that wall. So this literally would cover it all the way through. Yeah, and then you'd have that bit blocked off, so this could take the bed. The other option would be that the bed is technically freestanding in the centre of the room with no, basically we could build a wall here to take the bed head. The downside to that is then you end up with like what I call alleyways. So you've got an alleyway basically there, alleyway there, and it's not as clean cut.
Just feeling that out, so if we only need one radiator, we
yeah.
can put it under that window.
Totally, yeah.
It would be tucked away behind the bed
Yep,
anyway.
yep. So you wouldn't see it as off balance, yep.
So by, if I did the whole window seat thing, it wouldn't ruin the radiator situation.
No, that's right.
We
Yeah,
could make
exactly that.
Okay.
I mean, generally what we try to do is put sockets in the corners of the room so you can have a multi-use purpose for it. As soon as you come, socket here, you haven't got a multi-purpose for that, and you need another socket over on that wall. Whereas if you put one in the corner, you've got technically two options that you could use. And also expending your budget. You know, we don't want to, we're not in the habit of overselling electrics, because obviously it's going to escalate your budget. Whereas, you only need what you need. And generally, with a loft conversion like this, you're going to plan it and it's going to stay that way. It's not going to, you wouldn't all of a sudden put the bed over here because it wouldn't work. So, generally, the way that you design the loft is the way that the loft stays forever, because there's generally not multiple places for a bed.
Yeah. So wardrobe space is...
Yeah, I would say this, and then I would probably do low-level units all the way around, but that's a personal preference, and it depends how much storage you actually need or want. What I would do is obviously wardrobes all the way to there,
so
in line with that.
Down here.
Yep, 600 deep, so normal hanging, and then I would probably change to smaller sections here, so that they're more like for shelves and drawers as opposed to like hanging. And make this all like a counter as such. I mean, you've got a hell of a lot of space here for a loft conversion, for a bathroom and a bedroom. I think you kind of need to. We need to kind of plan where you want storage and the bed, and then that will leave us what we need for the bathroom. Because you could go mad here and make the bathroom really big, but if you don't need a really big bathroom, I personally would give it to the bedroom. Yeah, basically we'll give it enough for the shower to go here. Probably whatever this measurement is here, do the same there. So the window's centre of that space, and then we'll put the wall through here and back down. And then we'll bring the door slightly further into the centre, away from where we could potentially put the bath. So you've got options to either put the bath there or here. I don't think it's wise putting the bathroom all the way to the end. And I think that could be a really nice reading corner for you. I really do think that is, because it's a little bit more private. Whereas obviously, by the time you've got the bed there and you're sitting... Exactly that. You are literally hidden. They wouldn't even know you're there. So another fantastic week here at Surrey Lofts. We've been progressing with some existing work and starting new projects. We also took a look at the designed walkarounds where we visited the Greenway Project. So if you've liked this episode and are liking our content, please like and subscribe, drop us a comment, and we'll see you all next week.